NordVPN.com is truly a catch-all for wrestling fans. Listen, we got this great deal going, 2 years plus 4 months free. You got a 30-day money-back guarantee. Before I even tell you that it works on all your operating systems, Windows, Mac, whatever you got. Android, your phone, your desktop, your laptop, your PC, all those devices work as well. You can put it on your router, your smart TV, but you get wrestling at a much more affordable price on those pay-per-views. You can watch all that WWE content with one Netflix account, but that's not it. You're also protecting yourself. They got great secure cloud storage. You can create your own private network. They've got a data breach scanner. They got the Threat Protection Pro that blocks that malware, blocks the trackers, blocks the ad, even when you're not connected to the VPN. Head over to nordvpn.com/Fightful. See all the great things that they have to offer you. What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. I'm Ross Sapp. It is December 8th, 2025. It's a big week. It is John Cena's final week as an active competitor. As I move my camera down just a little bit there, didn't really work, but by God, here we are. I'm ready to talk some wrestling with you guys. We got so much going on at Fightful and FightfulSelect.com. As always, today on FightfulSelect.com, we had details on MJF and his upcoming return, thanks to WrestleVotes Live, who did a Q&A show today, dropped my Q&A the other day, and I dropped some news about where the WWE library is going. All that on FightfulSelect.com, and you know the scoops are going to keep rolling all day, every day over there. Please support what we do. But you're here right now. Leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe, share the link. Any of that stuff really helps. But if you want to go that extra mile and you want to get in a super chat or humper chat, we would greatly appreciate that. You can do that here on YouTube or over at humperchats.com. Let's jump into this show, guys. Plugs out of the way in the first 2 minutes. We got a super chat right out of the gate. No, LA Knight is not done with the company. He signed to a multi-year deal. Not done with the company. I'll ask. I'll fire off a message right now. Let me do that. You can watch me in real time. Is LA Knight being written off? There you go. I asked. No, I don't believe so. He signed a multi-year deal. Gunther ain't done either, buddy. But let's talk about the lead up to all this. Actually, you know what? Gunther cut this promo, and it was easy. It was to the point. He became the final opponent for John Cena. Sorry for the dead air. Trying to collect myself here for this one. And he cut a promo that was pretty predictable. You know what you're going to say. I'm going to make you give up. You're going to give up for good. I thought it was great delivery, to the point, what it needed to be. I was more surprised by the just complete burial of Gunther online this past week. Like, people all of a sudden predicting that Gunther, or they just think that Gunther sucks now. Not predicting that he sucks, just thinking that he sucks. I'm fine with him being that guy. Listen, I know he's 38 years old. I know that he's not a spring chicken, but he's got a lot of years left. I'd be surprised if Gunther isn't still wrestling in 7 years. You're going to get a lot more use out of Gunther beating John Cena than I think there was, or I don't even think he's going to beat John Cena. I need to clarify that. In facing John Cena, I think there's more benefit there than Brock beating Undertaker for the streak, because Brock was going to be Brock no matter what. Brock had already reached the mountaintop, and so has Gunther. But with Brock, he just stayed generally the same place that he was always, right? With Gunther, this is a guy who's been a multi-time world champion. And I look at this and I'm like, okay, well, this is something for him to do that is not the world championship. It would be boring to see Gunther go right back to the world championship. He retired Goldberg earlier this year, and he's in John Cena's retirement match. And I see one of two things happening here. Gunther wins, and he becomes the new legend killer. And I mean, that's a natural feud that you can set up with Randy Orton down the line as well. That's your WrestleMania match. He can retire AJ Styles. He can retire Rey Mysterio eventually. I like this. The Wrestling Grim Reaper. That's a badass gimmick right there. That's an incredible gimmick. And if he loses, he can still be that because he is so consumed with the fact that he didn't retire John Cena that with a win that he wants to retire everyone else. Retire Brock too. Sure. All of them. I'm completely fine with it being Gunther. Would have been fine with it being Obafemi or Braun Breaker or somebody like that. I'm completely fine with it being Gunther. I thought he did a great promo here. I think they're going to have a fantastic match. But I've said this before. I think John Cena is going to end up winning that match. And I'll reiterate for those that didn't listen. It's Washington, D.C. Gunther is a 1980s European movie villain. John Cena is a 1980s American action star. Caught and compromised to a temporary end. Gunther. That's what I think is going to happen. Waving the American flag. All that stuff. That's what I see happening on Saturday. I think WWE took a look at Sting's last match and they go, okay. Seems good for John Cena. And Cena deserves it too. I'd be fine with it. As long as the creative following that provides something that is appropriate and satisfying. I know there's going to be a lot of people that act like it's the end of the world if John Cena wins on Saturday. I do not think it's the end of the world. Ultimately, this is bigger than just one match. It's bigger than, and it's a send-off for one of the 5 to 10 most important people, most important wrestlers in the history of the company. Right? Like it's that. And I think that Gunther winning would be great. I think that it'd be great if it were Cena as well. I think it's an okay thing if John Cena ends up not losing his last match. That's fine. We got Javon Evans and Leon Slater taking on AJ Styles and Dragon Lee on Saturday night's main event. So a few things I wanted to address. We actually had a story scheduled for in the morning that Corey wrote about this specifically. He had been told earlier today that it was a contract, or not a contract, a conflict of schedule. And we didn't run that story in time, obviously, but Corey Brendan did have that information a little bit earlier. I saw somebody in the chat saying we're seeing contract tampering. Here we go. And I'm not trying to bury this person. Not trying to bury you, nope. Contract tampering on levels we haven't seen is happening right now with Leon. Well, it's not, and I'll tell you why. There's no such thing as contract tampering in pro wrestling. There is no players association that oversees that. You can make offers like that. It's completely fine. Now there's such a thing as torturous interference and the like, but it's just not the case. But also WWE and TNA have a partnership. You better believe Leon Slater is going to be making a lot more money off this appearance than he was this weekend on the Indies. Think they do time limits for the NXT matches. Could see Cody surviving to the limit and then Drew attacking after. I think that we're probably just going to have Drew running in. I don't think that they will think that far ahead, to be honest with you. I just think that they're going to do a screwy finish. I don't think they'll be like, yeah, you know what? Let's go time limit. Maybe they will, but I just fully expect a bad, unsatisfying finish. Didn't Penta and Phoenix contract tamper? That is not what happened. That's just not what happened. It's not contract tampering. That's just not what it is. But what it is was Penta had like 4 or 5 months left on his deal and had already worked out a new deal or worked out a deal with Triple H or had been talking to him. Ray Phoenix had like over a year if you include injury time. So contract tampering, it's not illegal. Like nobody's going to go to jail for this or anything like that. Like it's just not a real thing. No real lawsuit will happen there. Contract tampering is just not a real thing there. It's frowned upon. WWE certainly complains when it happens to them, but and for a long time at least claimed that they stayed away from it. Any Bruce Pritchard podcast that you ever listened to, he would pretty well clarify that. Speaking of the tag titles, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defeated the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar. Javon Evans was at ringside, and I'm just like, man, bring him up already. Just bring him up. Oba too. But Oba's NXT champion now, so that ain't going to happen. I did think that we were going to see Ricky Saints against Cody because they're buddies, but not to be. There were some rough spots in this War Raiders match with Dragon Lee and AJ, like the Rana and all that, but it was a little unusual. They were just like, hey, yo, how about the War Raiders who didn't have a title rematch like 6 months ago, which again is not a thing anymore. It's not mandatory. It's not a rule. We want them to have theirs. All right, cool, I guess. I've mentioned before about how I'm the only one that watches Main Event, and they won on Main Event recently. But they ended up losing, and then they just kind of carted them off, moved them along. They had a nice video package for them as well. That was nice. Seeing a lot more vignettes on these shows, and I like that. I think it's a good way to utilize talent. We'll talk more about some pretty highly touted ones later on. But Dragon Lee, AJ Styles, you can tell they're becoming like the workhorse team. They want to go out there and defend it all the time. That's how they're being booked. There was just this beautiful shot on replay of AJ Styles doing the phenomenal forearm and just getting an insane amount of air. And I'm just looking at that and I go, man, this guy's retiring soon. Like he can't possibly do it. He's too old, right? He looked great. I'm just like, my God. There are a bunch of 25-year-olds that can't hit that move like that. And he's like, what, 40, 45? How old is he? How old is AJ? He's 48. He's 48. Oh, my God. He's 48 doing a phenomenal forearm like that and getting an insane amount of air. What an incredible performer. Just next level. New Day are on commentary and all. Well, they're not really on commentary. They're ringside. Xavier goes live while he's at ringside. And as they and Grayson Waller interrupt, you get the Usos coming out. Still with the Jey Uso music. And Jey Uso has officially been moved to the tag team division, unless it's a swerve. Jimmy cuts a promo, and Jey just straight up announces it. He's like, we're back. We're going to take over the tag team division. And I wonder how he feels about it after the year that he's had. He went from winning the Royal Rumble on what was that, February 1st, to being back in a tag team officially on December 8th with World Championship in between. Damn. I don't know, man. I didn't quite expect that. I thought that occasionally it would happen. I think the tag team division needs somebody super over like Jey Uso. But you got to get rid of the just me Uso theme, right? Like, because it's not just him. It's both of them. And I agree. There was some element of him within that promo that maybe didn't necessarily seem like he was sold on it. Maybe he didn't like being locked down. Wish we had the gimmick here. Enough time has been removed from the Usos and New Day to where it's fresh again. And also Big E's not involved. Dragon Lee and AJ Styles have never had that. So I think the Usos are probably in the right position to be put into the tag team division again. Because what else was Jimmy Uso going to do? Feud with MFTs for like another year? I hope not. But like, this is a show, WWE Raw, that has a lot of talent that is not on the show right now. John Cena's done. Never doing Raw again. Roman Reigns ain't on the show. CM Punk ain't around. AJ Lee ain't around. Seth Rollins ain't around. Becky Lynch ain't around. That's a lot of guys and girls, a lot of top people not around right now. So Jey Uso moving from a singles perspective to a tag perspective, I'm like, well, all right. But you got to get some of these people back on the show. Get in your super chats. Get in your humper chats. Sir Brendo says, happy holidays, SRS. Hope all is well with the cats. Jenny, the cat that got very sick, is much better, $4,000 later. But here's the way that I'll put it. Even if she had just made it through that week, it was worth the money to have that time with her, not to mention the fact that she is seemingly completely better now. So that was a very scary situation. Yeah, Obafemi at ringside, another one where I'm just like, please bring him up already. Ready for that guy to be up. Then Io Sky defeated Kyrie as Asuka got involved, and Io and Kyrie just put on a clinic, dude. Like, here's a little one, guys. After John Cena's final match on Saturday, we are going to have free voting for the Fightful Awards. Those of you who aren't subscribed will have some that are weighted less, and if you're subscribed to Fightful Select, you get a bonus vote. But I'll give you guys a little peep. It is neck and neck. Io and I think Io, Tony, and Mercedes for Women's In-Ring Wrestler of the Year. And matches like this from Io are still going to make that case. Io is so good and so over. The emote is over. She's got Rhea Ripley out there. Now, I do think that there needs to be some better distribution of women on this show up towards the top of the card. And we'll get to that momentarily. But Io and Kyrie just go out there and just beat the absolute piss out of each other. They just go out there and do it, man. And Io's been doing that all year long. She's been having incredible matches all year long. Just incredible stuff. I love the spot on the apron, especially where Io flipped out of the back body drop and then did a German suplex to Kyrie on the apron. Ooh. Rhea got involved, took out Asuka. Then Io Sky gets a win over Kyrie. I mean, naturally, we saw some progression there with the tag teams. Not necessarily, unless I'm mistaken, I didn't see the same progression that I saw last week with like a bunch of teams, right? Like, we saw two of them work together later because Roxanne Perez faced Lyra. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Liv is backstage, speaks with Raquel. Actually, I can't go into that yet because I got to talk about the Stephanie Vaquer promo. But it kind of all rolls in together. All these divisions. Stephanie Vaquer comes out and cuts a promo. And again, she's working on her English, but she's talking about how she's the best. Says that Nikki Bella is a legend, but things have changed. Names a bunch of people that are better than Nikki, which is kind of funny. And then Nikki comes out. And you best believe I was about to bury this segment. Nikki's promo wasn't good. Nikki didn't win any matches to get a title shot. She lost the match for the title, and that match wasn't good either. But they swerved me. Sorry, hiccup hit me. They swerved me. And Raquel came out and just beat up Nikki. And Raquel later on said, you know what? She cost me my title shot, so I'm going to make sure she doesn't get another one. Why would she get another one? She shouldn't have got the first one. I was about to flip out over this. Now, I'm going to do the same thing that I always do. Let's pull up Raquel's. Because let me tell you guys, there's been nothing this entire Nikki Bella run that has said top title program. It's not been good. The in-ring, the promos, the heel turn, none of it's been good. Well, Raquel Rodriguez's last match was her losing a championship match to Stephanie Vaquer. Okay. It says she was on a bit of a win streak. When? Before she got the other title shot? Can people just win? Can the baseline be make a little sense? You can tell they're owned by TKO because it's the most UFC ass shit I've ever seen in my life. Inactivity is rewarded, even in kayfabe. I don't get it. I'm just like, you know, there'll be some dumbass on Twitter that's Sean doesn't want Raquel to get a title shot. I think Raquel's awesome. I think she's a lovely person, a really great performer. Give her wins. I know there are people in WWE that watch this show. They tell me, even after I bury it. Give them wins. Somebody says, you know, it's leading to a triple threat. Good. Give that person wins too. Noise says, I don't know what about Rio really don't connect with. I love Io. I love Rhea. Together, their characters feel extremely bland to me. Loved Io's match with Kyrie, though. I'll tell you what it is. Io just had all of her best friends turn on her. And then a person that she couldn't get along with for months and months and months. And those same friends would attack Rhea, led to Rhea being her friend. It doesn't seem genuine. It just doesn't seem genuine. I'm with you. I think that Rhea and Io are great performers and they'll get it over no matter what, though. So backstage, Raquel speaks with Liv. And it was very funny. Liv tried to Ricky Bobby her. Ricky's like, well, you're going to be first. How can I be first? Can't do it at the same time. And then Raquel's like, I don't need your permission. And Liv's like, you know what? You're right. You're right. And I like that because that's exactly how Raquel should be acting. Raquel should be like, I didn't get permission from you. What the hell are you talking about? What, just because you handed a title to Roxanne? That doesn't mean anything. And then Liv takes it upon herself to pair herself with Roxanne. And Roxanne's like, Why would I need you? Okay. And Liv goes, well, you know what? We got to be tag team champions if she's going to be world champion. Dominic's like, they're bonding. Finn is impressed with how cohesive the unit is. And then Liv goes out there and helps Roxanne win. And Bayley's there, by the way. Bayley, who let's give Bayley her flowers at per usual. Bayley put together what is called the Lodestone Camp, and some great independent talent got invited there. Izzy, who I've got an interview with coming up on Fightful in the coming weeks. Danny Moe, Gabby Forza, just Nikki Blackheart, a loaded slate of independent talent. Rachel Armstrong, who I've worked with on a number of shows, just really, really stacked. And then like Tyler Breeze, Natty, Tyson Kidd, John Cena, Ivy Nile, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Lyra. Tons of people came in and helped out with this camp. And it is such just a massive piece of positivity to emerge. And everybody was just positive about it. The people that I talked to that attended it said that there was like no trash talking. There was like no cattiness. There was nothing but positivity emerging from it. And like Janai Kai was there, who has been a fantastic in-ring talent for a while. Brooke Havoc, who I believe is one of Cody's first trainees. I think LJ Cleary was there as well, who is Lyra's fiance helping out. Like, just an unbelievable positivity emerging from this. And good on Bayley. Good on Bayley understands, after being in Shimmer and working the indies, the importance of iron forges iron. That's what it is. You get like 25, 30 of the most promising indie women's wrestlers, and you have them go in there and learn from you and work together and make connections. People can look out for each other. I think that was a brilliant idea and something I hope we see more of. Seeing a lot of those walls sort of come down, and things like this should continue to happen. In general, like, bring up the body of wrestling, so to speak. I see like so many independent companies and even ones locally that are like, well, if you want to work our shows, you can't work their shows. Well, here's a tip for you guys. Don't work those shows. Don't work any of them if they try to prevent you from getting better and making money elsewhere. If anybody is trying to restrict your growth, goodbye. Ain't for you. Bayley is the exact opposite of that. Natty, who was featured in a segment later on, the exact opposite of that. Tyson Kidd, the exact opposite of that. They are out there for the betterment of pro wrestling, and the wrestling world is fortunate to have Pam Martinez, aka Bayley. I've covered Bayley's career for 11 years now, 12 years now. I've not heard one person go, you know who sucks? Bayley. Bad person. Never heard it. Never heard of it. Only heard of good things. So good for her making this happen. Roxanne Perez did beat Lyra Valkyria. Again, big win. But like, also, at some point, I'm looking at Roxanne and saying, like, I know everybody else is sort of calling their shot for this world title, but what about Roxanne? Roxanne just beat Lyra. Roxanne won a tag match against Nikki Bella and Stephanie before that. Roxanne beat Nikki before that. Roxanne beat Lyra in October as well. Now that I look at it, Roxanne's been on a hot streak. Roxanne should be getting the title shot. So if I'm Roxanne, I'm like, Raquel, all due respect, but just because you got out there first doesn't mean you should be challenging for the title. But I didn't see like the huge tag team integration here that we previously saw. Sorry, guys, I'm still fighting some allergies, so asthma's kicking up. Terry Allen Jr. says, attending AEW again in Georgia. That's this week, right? There was a sports agent who asked me if I was going to that. And they said it was in Atlanta. So that's why I assume that is this week. Otherwise, I don't usually keep track of where the events necessarily are. Meet Normus says, hi, SRS. Was watching football, but wanted to send you a small sack of monies for cat reindeer antlers. Let's crank. I'm in an Iron Man match with a whole ham. I could go for a good ham. How do you have your ham? Don't send a super chat, Meet Normus. Just tell us in the chat. I like mine a little overdone, man. I do. I kind of like my ham overdone. I know you're going to yell at me for it, but I just like it cooked through really, really well. Big fan of that. How is that Monday night game, guys? Let me know. I'll tell you what'll keep you guys more interested in the games. It's MyBookie. MyBookie AG. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, including pro wrestling. If you're watching this show, there's probably a pretty good opportunity that you have a little bit of insight on the pro wrestling world. You boys have hit a lot of lock picks over the last couple of years. I know many of you have as well. If you think you know more than the average wrestling fan, head over to mybookie.ag. Get a $50 bonus with a $100 deposit or a $100 bonus with a $200 deposit with the code FIGHTFUL. It doesn't stop there. There's UFC. There's tons of other sports. There's live casino. There's table games. They're providing you the best experience from the best. Use that code FIGHTFUL at mybookie.ag. Only bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. But head over there. Check out their bonus offers. Check out all the great opportunities they have for you at MyBookie AG. Check it out, MyBookie. I actually didn't end up betting on the Bengals this week, so my hot streak continues of 6 successful Bengals bets. I did drop one, though. I had Mirab winning, and it didn't end up happening. So the streak is over. I'm excited to start betting on those Paramount shows, though. I'm interested to see how the fan base sort of increases, decreases, whatever, surrounding the Paramount move. Ivy Nile had an international interview. It's to set up the IC title match. Ryan says Julius Creed looked like he'd want to be anywhere but there. Do you know why their AAA match was canceled in November? Ryan, I wish I had an answer as to why anything has went on with Julius Creed and Brutus Creed. I wish I had any semblance of an idea. And just a waste these guys have been since moving them over to Team Gable. It's not benefited anybody. They got cool new gear and that's it. Otherwise, I mean, what the hell are these guys doing? What was the point? You effectively took them out of the tag division. Great. Glad they got the beautiful red, white, and blue gear. And now what? Nothing. Bad booking, man. How much did Gable getting injured affect that? Not much, because if you look, they weren't winning matches before. And he was off doing El Grande Americano. I'm like, why? Where have the Americanos been? Where the hell have they been? They just vanished too. It's like the whole angle just got dropped after that. You couldn't get those guys off TV. El Grande Americano hasn't wrestled on Raw since November 3rd, a full month. He just vanished. He's wrestled 2 singles matches since the middle of September on Raw. Before that, it felt like he was on the show nonstop. I know they're on NXT. Where were they on Raw? Where have they been? Why can't they do anything with... I know they're in AAA, guys. I know that's where they are. I'm saying relative to the Creeds, damn it. It makes a lot of sense for the Creeds to be wanting to expose the Grande Americanos, so to speak, instead of losing the WWE Speed title on NXT. Do wrestlers watch this show on Mondays? Yes, there are a number of wrestlers that watch this show. Refs, staff, people like that. I'm always surprised. Like, sometimes my intro to some wrestlers will be them being like, hey, listen to your show, and I'm like, oh, okay. Cool. That's flattering. This Natty and Maxine segment. Damn, this is good stuff. It's shot well. It's shot really tight. It's focused more on the facial expressions of Maxine. Her hair's all disheveled because she's been wrestling. She's clearly in incredible shape. Like, listen, she is not going to be the most technically sound performer, but those tight shots also protect that. And I love a good montage. Even Rocky had a montage, as they say. This one's a good-ass montage. And again, you hear Natty doing the do it again. But now Maxine is running through whoever it is that Natty's got for her. She's like, another one. Next. Come on. Let's see. And then Natty steps up. And Natty's like, try it with me. And then Maxine is able to tap her out. Now, my hope is this leads to a Natty heel turn. That's what I want. Natty has spoken openly and says she does not ever want this Natalya character to return. Ryan says he noticed Tamira and Bailey Humphries. Oh, okay. You're right. But what is... I don't know what the end of this vignette did for Natty. Made her look like she could get tapped out by a person who's rolled like against 4 or 5 people. How do you all feel about that? Because, I mean, Maxine's got to show progression, right? But it's also got to reflect to when she's actually in the ring. Like, what happens if she goes out into the ring and she's completely lost? You can't wrestle Becky Lynch every single match, right? Like, and I do believe that Maxine is dedicated enough to improve, as she has highlighted. Fortunately, it looks like your next go is going to be Ivy Nile and Natty. I trust them in the ring, certainly. But, I mean, like, not everybody is Becky Lynch. Get your super chats in and get your humper chats in. Guys, I have an interview going up this week with Joe Alonzo, and you might say, I'm not familiar with Joe Alonzo. He's worked NWA, AEW. He got incredible heat from the NWA for our last interview. He had some heat in AEW in the past. He spoke openly about it, but he is truly one of the most charismatic people on the indies, period. You guys are going to want to know who Joe Alonzo is. He is, man, he's really good. He is an incredible, like, just like that, man. He gets it. He really understands. He's been wrestling for almost 10 years, 28 years old. I think Chicago area guy, big House of Glory guy. I think he worked Ring of Honor a few months ago as well. Make sure you guys check that out. See Becky's vlog today. Jan Voker show, do you mean the one where she started off on the run and all that? Yeah, I did. I don't know why she's not at Raw. I don't know if it's like legit just a part of the angle or if she had something planned, like, you know, maybe some Star Trek promotion or something like that. But I would have posted that. Apologies, I'm getting old, fellas. I would have posted that or ran that on the show as well. But you could have had Adam Pearce like cut it as well. And been like, no, we're not going to show that. We're not doing that. She wants to boycott the show. She's going to be off the show. Becky's great, man. She is in a league of her own. There are not a lot of people that can do things the way that Becky Lynch does them. And that's not me taking anything away from anybody else. Becky is just really, really great. And she always finds that thing to get her over, right? Like, she got over because she did the cute little puns and all that stuff. And then she angled more to the heel turn. Then she went to the man, then big time Bex. And now she's doing that. And I'm like, okay, she's done it again. She has found a way to do this again. It's impressive, man. It's very impressive. Oh, the Masked Man. Well, let's start off. Backstage, Logan Paul's with the Vision. He wants Paul Heyman and the Vision to know he's got all their backs if they need it. And Paul Heyman is thrilled about this. He's so happy. He's like, here you go. We were supposed to have Finn Balor versus Rey Mysterio. And it gets canceled after Logan Paul attacks and a Masked Man attacks. Now, with this, you would... How can I say this without giving you guys a bunch of dead air and pausing like I have been a ton of times tonight? Do you think they know where this is going? Do you think when they introduced the Masked Man, they're like, okay, this is for sure where it's going? Or do you think they had multiple ideas? Ryan Caccini believes the first guy was Montez. Mr. Acosta says tonight's masked dude was not the same one from Survivor Series. I don't know why, but I think it was Montez Ford. Body seems slimmer. My tinfoil hat is now fully on. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Montez Ford tonight. If it was Austin Theory at Survivor Series, wouldn't be surprised if it was Angelo Dawkins next week. If it was Ludwig Kaiser a couple weeks later, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Not in the least. Why would it surprise you? And they haven't signed Chris Jericho yet. But, like, what are they going to do? In, like, a month claim that Chris Jericho scaled that fence and stomped and stomped him out? I guess what we're going to claim? We're going to pretend that? I don't know. What, they're going to do this for it to be Austin Theory? Austin Theory, who was in a geek tag team the last time we saw him and he just disappeared? Now, if it was Montez Ford, I think a lot of people would be excited to see him sort of break away. Even if it was the Street Profits with them, which I don't think that would be as good of an idea. I like Austin Theory. I think he could do a lot better than what they've had him do. But for the last 3 months that he was on the main roster, gosh, longer than that, it was like 4 months. He was working main event. How do I know? Because I'm the guy that watches it. So to have him do let me tell you, if there's somebody who knows a little something about doing a mask reveal to no reaction, it is yeah boy. I did one about 6 hours deep in front of a convention crowd that did not give a damn who I was. You do not put Austin Theory in that position. Seth Rollins doesn't make any sense. They attacked him. But we're going to say it was like some super work. No, come on. No. Even though it's not listed on my notes, we had Logan Paul, LA Knight face-to-face. And then they ended up having a match. I thought it was a pretty solid match, honestly. Luis, I meant the interaction was not in my notes, sir. You can keep highlighting it all you want. The promo was not in my notes. On the back end, Luis is highlighting the text, putting it in gold font, increasing the size. The Paul defeated Knight. I meant the promo. I meant the promo, Luis. But you know what, Luis? You know what you can do, buddy? You can head over to auraframes.com and use the code FIGHTFUL and get a great deal on this Aura frame. You know what you can do? You can take a screenshot of these notes and put it on this Aura frame. Or you can buy me one, send it my way, and then have it already loaded with Aura frames. Don't be a last-minute shopper. Go ahead and get Aura frames and their wonderful Carver mat. Order it now and get it in time for Christmas. Save right now. I think it's $35 on their incredible Carver mat. And it comes in this fantastic gift box as well. You always look for the perfect gift, right? You always want to find just the thing that is not too over the top, but also is fitting for somebody that you care about, fitting for somebody that means something to you. Wirecutter Magazine named this bad boy #1. And right now, go to auraframes.com and use that code FIGHTFUL and get that fantastic deal. This deal is exclusive to our listeners. So go check that out. And also mention us at checkout. Really helps us out. Aura Farm with Aura Frames. We're Aura framing here. I got to write something with that for sure. MJ Johnson says they can't convince me it's Seth due to the fact that Seth wouldn't have worn a mask when stomping on these people. Yeah, I mean, to me, it has to make sense as to why it is that he would be doing it. Somebody says, what did your contact say about LA Knight? Quote, I didn't ask yet. Can ask tomorrow. Sorry, guys. So, LA Knight ends up getting beat because of this masked man. I want your picks in the chat. You ain't got to super chat this. Who do you think will be revealed as the masked man? Who's it going to be? Under the mask, specifically. Because it's got to be someone that it makes sense for them to hide their identity. And who would that be? Well, I mean, it should be. Who knows if that's what they'll do? Getting lots of Jerichos, an Andrade, a Montez, Theory. Logan Paul and LA Knight had an okay match, by the way. Somebody says Devon and Aces and Eights. Did you all see that thing where D'Lo talked about how he was in Aces and Eights? And they said, hey, D'Lo, we need you to just put on a mask and just be a masked guy in this. And nobody will know it's you. Don't worry. And D'Lo goes, as soon as I was out there, they started yelling my name because I've got the most distinct head shape possible. And all of a sudden, now I'm in Aces and Eights. I love that. I love that. Getting worked into a shoot because of your head shape. Oh, man. After this, the Vision really beat the dog shit out of LA Knight. And like Joe Tessitore is pleading for somebody to help LA Knight, and nobody's helping LA Knight. Nobody. And he won't give up. He ain't no bitch. Not LA Knight. He's keeping it coming. In the middle of this, Braun Breaker cuts a promo that I just thought was really good. There was the crackhead line. I'm like, we've heard that one 2 or 3 times. Oh, you don't drink, you don't smoke, but you look like a crackhead. Who did that in AEW? Was it Ricky Saints? I think it was Ricky Saints. Yeah? Am I crazy there? And Braun's like, where's CM Punk? Oh, it was MJF. There we go. Got that MJF interview coming up in the coming weeks. So, Braun cuts this promo, and he was like, hey, by the way, I want the old CM Punk back because I've been asking where's CM Punk? Not geographically. He's not here. He's filming a movie. But if he was here, you'd have the second loss back-to-back nights in Kansas City. Good job. And then he goes, I want the old CM Punk back because I don't buy the nice guy act. What, he takes pictures with some wrestlers and all of a sudden he's a great guy? Good. This is the stuff that plays off of realism. Because I got to be real with you all. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about CM Punk since he came back. This is a better environment. It's more structured. There's more authority that isn't him. It's a better situation for him. He's like, because if the nice guy CM Punk shows up, it's going to be Spear 1, 2, 3. Take your championship and maybe your wife too. Ooh. Was it a slip when he said Punk beat Rock? Yeah. But I'll tell you what. The Rock sold that clothesline at Raw 1000 like he got blasted with a goddamn shotgun. Go back and watch that. Go back and watch CM Punk's heel turn on The Rock. And how The Rock just laid there. Acting like he got blasted away. He was convulsing in the ring from CM Punk, who he outweighs by like 70 pounds. He even had blood from the mouth. It was so ridiculous. So ridiculous. I was at Raw 1001. The arena caught on fire. I think the video's up with Bill Apter where he had me call in from the venue. I was in a skybox at then US Bank Arena, one of the worst arenas. And the arena caught on fire. It was so wild because the Reds were actually good then. and there was a Reds game going on right next to US Bank Arena and a bunch of wrestling fans outside. And we heard a home run get hit, and there were yes chants that filtered into Great American Ballpark. Pretty wild. Also, that's the show that Abraham Washington said that Kobe thing and got fired. Yep. So, like that promo, I felt like the crackhead line. I was like, come on, we've heard that. But then the Vision just again beats the crap out of LA Knight. LA Knight was like, no. I'm going back. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. Well, they stopped him. Oh, I wonder what that weird thing was when Bronson Reed was on top of the whatever the ledge that he was on. There was like a static thing, and it was clearly like a phony static thing. Like, I don't know what that was, but then he did a damn tsunami, the 2024 Fightful Award Finisher of the Year, of which he accepted on a scooter, by the way. Destroys LA Knight. JJ says, is LA Knight getting buried because of the sign, or are they just giving him a Christmas break? I'll find out more, but to have grabbed the, we would prefer LA Knight instead of Jey Uso sign, I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me that they would have him beat Zack Ryder, The Miz, and Jey Uso en route to an 18-minute match with Gunther that, by the way, kicked ass. Knight felt like he got ricocheted. He's got years left on his contract, man. Years. Parker Hines says Chances Goldberg complains about Cena's match on Saturday night's main event. I'd say 60%. In an interview, yes. So I saw Grapsody today. By the way, check out today's Grapsody. They were like, oh, is Cena going to be the opening match? And I'm like, he probably saw Goldberg's retirement and was like, yeah, make me the opening match. I love that card, by the way. I love how that's looking. Bayley and Sol Ruca. Hell of a match. That tag team match. By the way, still waiting on the bigger thing that it leads to. When was it Dark State interfering in that Bound for Glory match between Leon Slater and Javon Evans? Am I to believe that they had this match planned all along? Of course they didn't. They could have just had one of the best matches of the year and still done this. Stupid ass finish. What I tell y'all, by the way, I got on this show and told you all, mark my words, they took that title off Mike Santana so they could give him the moment again on the first AMC TNA Impact. Go find it's on some show I did. And then they announced at these tapings that Mike Santana is going to compete for the TNA World Championship on the first AMC TNA Impact. Hot diggity goddamn. By the way, shout out TNA for getting that new TV deal. A legitimately fantastic television deal. I've talked about this on some other shows this week, but I thought that they appropriately hyped this. They said TV deal's coming. They didn't say huge TV deal. And in reality, this is a huge TV deal for TNA. Nobody, until John Alba did that reporting, had AMC even on the radar. And AMC is a channel of which produces Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Mad Men, The Walking Dead, and now TNA Impact, buddy. Vince Gilligan and Tommy Dreamer, just two peas in a pod. Oh, man. Good for TNA. Good for TNA. Meet Norma says, the Forbidden Door now Becky versus Tony. That would be my ideal match. That would be my ideal match. Guys, I want to shout out our sponsors, auraframes.com and the code FIGHTFUL, MyBookie AG and the code FIGHTFUL, and nordvpn.com/FIGHTFUL. Now, we've got the FIGHTFUL Awards coming up. The voting is pinned on FIGHTFULSelect.com. Jimmy will almost certainly be increasing the price in 2026. You can lock your year-long price in now at this lower rate. We have just added WrestleVotes, 2 shows a week, more scoops than ever before. I'm adding an exclusive predictions and previews show. I'm adding an SRS 10 out of 10 watch-along show. We are adding a Jeremy Lambert show as well. Lots of stuff coming to FightfulSelect.com. But right now, subscribers can vote, and your vote is worth more when you subscribe. Also, all the voting for the Fightful Awards open-ended for subscribers. This Saturday night, we will release the free version. Subscribers get to vote again. They'll basically get 1.5 votes. The non-subscriber vote will be weighted a little bit less, but you can sponsor the Fightful Awards. You might say, Sean, why the hell would I want to do that? Well, you get your ad read on the show, which is viewed by thousands and dozens of thousands of people. You can clip that ad read, use it wherever you want. Don't care where it is. And if you want me to do a separate read and record it for you, I'll do that. You'll get a link in the description on YouTube, on the website, on all of our podcast platforms, and in the replies to the tweet of the Fightful Award announcement. And then I'll retweet it to over 325,000 people. It's $100 a pop. Contact me, Kate, or one of the Fightful accounts, whether it be Patreon, anything like that, or our contact form. I mean, I see an email right now from somebody inquiring, but I've mentioned this before. We spend a good amount of money on these awards, having them produced, having them shipped, and we wanted something that the talent were very proud to display and to show off and to accept, because even if I bury somebody's segment this Monday, they're the reason we're doing this job. They're the reason that you guys are here as well. Like, we can't cover pro wrestling, talk about pro wrestling, and truly enjoy it without the work and the sacrifices that they put in. So we want to give them something pretty special. So if you want to sponsor the Fightful Awards, there you go. DNC Digital says, even though they addressed it tonight, do you feel they're dropping Jay from the story from last week? Feels the same with the Bailey and Kyrie stories. No, I think it is going to be a continuing thing. A continuing thing. I think it's going to be something that they go back and forth to, and Jay's like, I don't want to be a tag team wrestler. And then I think it needs to be highlighted like, no, there's nothing wrong with being a tag team wrestler. Yes, I know Vince Gilligan left AMC for Apple. I've been watching his new show, and it is awesome. You know, another show I'm doing on Fightful Select in 2026. I think I'm going to run down my 20 favorite movies. I have watched 20 favorite movies of 2025. Let's see how many I've watched this year. New movies. I've watched about 45 this year. Hell yeah, brother. We are on podcast platforms everywhere. Follow me on Facebook. We're out.